Let's start with something you've probably heard before, or maybe even said yourself. My name is Paulo. I'm 28 years old. I'm from Brazil. I like music and travel. It's clear, it's correct. But let's be honest. It sounds like a script, like something you'd say in an English exam, not in a real conversation. Now let's hear how Paulo could say the exact same things, but in a way that feels natural. Hey, I'm Paulo. I'm originally from Rio, but I've been living in Lisbon since 2021. I work in digital marketing, and I'm totally into live music and spontaneous weekend trips. Same person, same facts, but now it sounds confident, relaxed, real. It's not just correct English, it's English with personality. And today, I'll show you exactly how to speak like that too. Hey, English learners, Laura here. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to introduce yourself in English like a native speaker, naturally, confidently, and with real connection. So how do we do that? Well, it all starts with a simple but powerful idea, something I call the 5W1H method. Now don't worry, it's not complicated. In fact, you already know this, just in your own language. Think about it. When you tell a story, what do you usually include? You probably mention who it's about, what happened, when and where it took place, and sometimes why or how it happened. That's it. That's the whole method. Who, what, when, where, why, and how. And once you start thinking in English using this simple pattern, your sentences become longer, clearer, and more natural without memorizing anything. So let's begin with part 1, your name, your greeting, and how to start your introduction in a way that sounds friendly and real. Part 1. Greeting and name. Every great introduction has to start somewhere, and it usually begins with just one word. Hello. Let's talk greetings. In most English books, you'll see phrases like, hello, my name is. It's formal, it's safe. But most native speakers don't greet people like that, especially in casual situations. Instead, we say things like, hey there, hi, I'm Laura, morning, hey, how's it going? These greetings are relaxed and natural. The way you'd speak to someone you just met at a cafe or a class. So start your introduction with energy, with personality. Let your greeting match you. Saying your name like a native. Once you've said hello, the next thing people want to know is, who are you? Let's make your name more than just a label. Let's make it stick. Instead of just saying, my name is Amir, try something more human. Hey, I'm Amir, but everyone calls me A. I go by Sam, short for Samantha. I'm Louisa, that's Luisa, in case you're wondering. You see the difference? You're not just giving your name, you're giving people something to remember. That's what makes introductions stick. So how does that actually sound in real life? Let me introduce you to someone. Let's meet Ahmed, a real introduction. Now listen to how he might introduce himself using the 5W1H structure, but without sounding like he's reading a grammar chart. Hey, I'm Ahmed. I'm originally from Cairo, but I moved to Dubai last year for work. These days, I'm working in logistics, and honestly, I'm still trying to survive the traffic here. Did you catch that? We learned who he is, where he's from, when he moved, what he does, and even how he feels about it. Frustrated with the traffic. That's real conversation. That's English that sticks. Try it yourself, slowly, step by step. Let's say your current introduction is, I am Alice. I am from Italy. Let's stretch it just a little. Ask yourself, where in Italy? Are you still living there? What do you do? When did you start doing it? How do you feel about it? Now say, hey, I'm Alice. I'm from Rome, but I've been living in Amsterdam for the past 2 years. I work in interior design, and I absolutely love the bike culture here. So much more natural, right? That's the power of the 5W1H method. Now that you've seen how powerful 5W1H can be, it's time to take it from your ears to your mouth. Let's practice speaking it out loud together. Shadowing practice. Repeat after me. I'll say a line and you repeat after me. Not just in your head, out loud. Let's train your speaking muscle. Hey there, I'm Nia. I'm originally from Seoul, but I moved to Vancouver last summer. Right now, I'm studying graphic design. And yeah, I love it. Nice to meet you. Awesome work. Go ahead. Rewind and repeat again if you want. Remember, speaking out loud is what builds fluency. Thinking isn't enough. Your mouth needs practice too. You just learned how to greet someone naturally, introduce your name with confidence, and use the 5W1H method to build longer, more fluent sentences without memorizing anything. In the next part, we'll dive deeper. I'll show you how to talk about where you're from, where you live now, and how to describe it in a way that feels personal and effortless. Before you go, try writing your new self-introduction using 5W1H and drop it in the comments below. I'd love to see it. And remember, fluency isn't about big words. It's about sharing small moments with clarity, confidence, and connection. See you in part 2. Part 2. Where you're from and where you live now. Hey English learners, welcome back. So earlier, we talked about how to greet someone and introduce your name naturally with confidence and personality. Now let's build on that. Because when you meet someone new, after your name, the next question is almost always, where are you from? And sometimes, where do you live now? These simple questions open the door to connection. They let people see your story, where you come from, what shaped you, and how you got to where you are today. And yep, we're going to use that same powerful idea from earlier, the 5W, 1H method. Not as a list, not as grammar, but as a way to think and speak fluently. Let's start using it right away, beginning with one of the most common things people ask. Where are you from? Talking about where you're from with feeling. Let's start with the basics. I'm from Japan. I come from Brazil. I'm from Germany. These are okay, but they don't really invite a conversation. Now watch what happens when we add just a little more. I'm originally from Osaka in Japan. I grew up there, but I moved to Tokyo a few years ago for university. Now we're learning something. It's not just a city name, it's a life story wrapped up in one sentence. Here's another one I love. I'm from a small town just outside Bogota. Not many people know it, but I always say it's where the best coffee comes from. It's funny, it's warm, it's human. That's what fluent English is. Sharing your experience, not just your facts. So how do you take a simple sentence like, I'm from Brazil, and turn it into a story? That's where 5W1H comes in. Gently, naturally, and without overthinking. Growing your story with 5W1H. Let's keep the flow going. When you talk about where you're from, you don't need a script. Just think about real-life details. Where were you born? Where did you grow up? Why did you leave? When did you move? How do you feel about your hometown? Don't answer all of them. Just pick the ones that make sense for you. Listen to this. I'm from Istanbul, but I've been living in Berlin since 2020. I moved here for my master's degree. And at first, I really missed the food back home. But now, I'm kind of obsessed with German bread. We learn so much. He's from Istanbul. He lives in Berlin now. He moved in 2020. He moved for school. He misses Turkish food. And he's found something new to love. That's a full story in just a few lines, built with 5W1H thinking, without sounding like a robot. Now that you've shared where you're from, let's talk about where life has taken you, where you're living now, and what it feels like. Talking about where you live, make it real. Now let's shift to your current life. You might say, I live in Paris. I'm based in Seoul. I live in Cape Town. That's good. But let's bring it to life. These days, I'm based in Paris. I've been here for about a year. I live in a tiny apartment near Montmartre. Lots of stairs, but the view is totally worth it. Now we're in Paris with you. We can see the stairs. We can imagine the view. And that's what makes your words stick. Now let's take one of those short, simple sentences and turn it into something that feels alive, personal, and real. Turning simple into natural. A real example. Here's a typical sentence. I'm from India. I live in Canada. Now, let's turn it into something more natural. I'm originally from Mumbai. I moved to Toronto about 4 years ago for work. I live in a quiet neighborhood just outside the city. And yes, I'm still not used to the snow. That's how native speakers talk. Simple, clear, personal, a little funny. It's not perfect grammar. It's perfect connection. That's the real goal when you speak English. Not just saying the right words, but making the person in front of you feel something. So let me give you a quick tip that can change the way you introduce yourself. Quick tip from me. Whenever someone asks where you're from, don't just think country. Think story. What do you love about your hometown? What do you miss? What was it like growing up there? Here are some real examples. I'm from a small town near Kyoto. It's quiet, but every spring, the cherry blossoms make it feel magical. I'm from Lagos, but I moved to Cape Town a few years ago. I still miss the street food back home. Nothing beats the jollof rice my aunt makes. I'm from Medellin. I used to ride my bike through the hills every evening. The sunsets there are unreal. That's what makes people want to keep talking to you. Not the city name, but the feeling behind it. So how do you train yourself to speak like that, naturally, with emotion and flow? Let's practice together, step by step. Shadowing practice. Speak with me. Let's practice this together. You know how this works. Repeat after me, not in your head, out loud. Hey, I'm Layla. I'm originally from Casablanca. I moved to Montreal 3 years ago for university. I live downtown near the old port. I love it in the summer. It's different from home, but I'm getting used to it. Feel free to rewind and do it again. You're not just learning English, you're training your voice to tell your story. And there you go. Now you know how to talk about where you're from and where you live now in a way that's simple, natural, and deeply personal. We didn't memorize. We didn't overthink. We just followed a flow. Who you are, where you're from, when and why you moved, how you feel. A full picture, all in English. In the next part, we're going to keep building. I'll show you how to talk about what you do, your work, your studies, and your hobbies in a way that's clear, confident, and full of real-life details. Until then, your turn. Drop your Where I'm From intro in the comments. Use the method. Tell your story. And I'll see you in part 3. Part 3. Work, study, and hobbies. Hey again, and welcome back. So far, you've learned how to introduce yourself, share your name, where you're from, and where you live, all in a way that feels fluent, personal, and easy to remember. Now, let's talk about something people always ask next. What do you do? This question might seem simple, but it's actually a huge opportunity. Because when you answer it the right way, you're not just giving a job title, you're giving people a window into your world. And of course, we're going to keep using our favorite tool, the 5W1H method, to help us say more with less stress. Let's get into it. Talking about work. Go beyond the title. Most learners say something like, I am a teacher. I work in marketing. I am a student. Totally okay. But let's make it shine. Imagine someone says this, I work in finance. Now compare it with, I work in finance, mostly on the risk management side. I've been with my current company for about 2 years. Honestly, I never thought I'd enjoy numbers this much. Do you feel the difference? In that second version, you're not just telling what you do. You're showing how long, what area, and even how you feel about it. That's 5W1H thinking again. What you do, how long you've done it, why you do it, how you feel, maybe even where you work or when you started. You don't need all of them, just 2 or 3. That's enough to sound natural and fluent. Talking about school or studies. Now what if you're a student? Instead of, I study engineering, try something like, I'm currently studying software engineering at NYU. I'm in my 3rd year now. And I've been working on a project related to artificial intelligence. It's challenging, but I love it. Boom! Natural, confident, and detailed. Or if you're in language school, I've been studying English at a language center here in Bangkok. It's been about 6 months now, and I've really started to enjoy speaking, especially when I meet new people. See what we did there? Same 5WH. What you're studying, where you're doing it, how long, how it feels, why you're doing it. Talking about your hobbies. Now here's the fun part. Sharing your hobbies makes your introduction more interesting and gives people something to connect with. But again, let's avoid one-word answers. Instead of, I like music, I enjoy reading, I play video games. Let's turn those into moments. I'm really into jazz, especially live music. There's this little club downtown that I go to almost every Friday night. When I have free time, I love reading memoirs. Right now, I'm reading one by a chef who traveled through Italy. It's making me hungry every chapter. I'm a big gamer, mostly strategy games. Lately, I've been hooked on this space-building game where you manage your own colony. Sounds nerdy, I know, but it's fun. These aren't just hobbies. These are conversation starters. They're emotional, vivid, and totally you. Now, how do we bring all the pieces together naturally, like a real person would say it? Let's put it all together. Let's imagine a complete introduction now, including work or study and hobbies. Hi, I'm Camila. I'm originally from Buenos Aires, but I've been living in Madrid for the past year. I'm working as a graphic designer, mostly doing freelance projects for startups. It's flexible, so I get to travel sometimes. In my free time, I love photography, especially street photography. Madrid has some amazing light in the early morning. Notice how this doesn't feel like a speech. It feels like a real person talking. Confident, casual, and expressive. You can do this too. And if you're wondering how to make your sentences sound this natural, here's a little trick that really helps. Quick practice tip. When you describe your work, school, or hobbies, try this little test. Ask yourself, if I were explaining this to a friend, what would I tell them? That simple shift will help your English sound 10 times more real. Here's an example. Instead of saying, I'm a nurse, I work at a hospital, try saying, I'm a nurse. I've been working in a pediatric hospital for 3 years now. It's busy, but I love seeing the kids smile when they're feeling better. See the difference? It's still simple, but now it's full of life, just like a real conversation. Now it's your turn to bring that same energy into your own voice. Let's practice it together, out loud, step by step. Shadowing practice. Repeat after me. Time to speak. Listen and repeat. Feel the rhythm. Add emotion. Make it yours. Pause for shadowing after each line. I'm a software developer. I've been doing it for about 5 years. Right now, I work remotely for a startup in San Diego. I love the freedom, but sometimes I miss working in an office. Outside of work, I'm really into trail running and learning Spanish. Now, rewind. Try it again. Even if you stumble, it's part of the process. Nice work! Now you know how to talk about your work, your studies, and your hobbies, not just as boring facts, but as parts of your life. That's what makes your English more fluent. Not perfection, but connection. And guess what? In the next part, we're going even deeper. We'll talk about your family, relationships, and unique details. The kind of stuff that helps people truly understand who you are. But before that, I want to hear from you. What do you do? Where do you study? What's a hobby you could describe in a real sentence? Write it in the comments, and I'll see you in part 4. Part 4. Family and personal details. Hey again, you're doing great so far. By now, you've learned how to introduce yourself, talk about where you're from, where you live, and what you do. All in a way that sounds personal and fluent. Now, let's take it a step further. Today, We're talking about something that makes introductions truly memorable. Your family, your background, and those small personal details that make you, you. Now I know this part feels a little more private, and of course, you don't have to share everything. But when you do share a small detail, something warm, funny, or even unexpected, people feel more connected to you. They don't just hear your English, they feel your story. So let's explore how to do that naturally, using the same method that's been working so well for us so far. 5W1H. Talking about family. Keep it simple and honest. You don't have to give a family history, just something short and true. I'm the oldest of 3. My parents live back in Tokyo. I have a younger sister. We're super close. I live with my wife and our cat who totally runs the house. Simple sentences, but they give people a peek into your world. Let's build on that. I'm originally from Jakarta, but I've been living in Melbourne since 2020. My parents are still back in Indonesia. We video chat every Sunday. Just like that, your listener knows something meaningful about your life, where you're from, where your family is, when you talk to them. You're not just saying words, you're sharing connection. Add feeling. Don't be afraid to be human. Here's where you can bring in a little emotion if you want. My sister and I used to fight a lot growing up, but now we talk every day. My parents don't speak English, but they're really proud that I'm learning. My kids are my motivation. They're the reason I started taking English classes. Fluency isn't about sounding perfect. It's about being real, even in small, quiet moments. And sometimes, it's those little, unexpected details, the ones that don't show up on a resume, that help people truly connect with you. The little things that say a lot. This is your chance to share the extra, the details that don't fit into job, school, or hometown, but still say a lot about you. Let me give you a few ideas. What's something people always remember about you? Do you have a pet? What's a unique habit or funny detail? Is there something quirky you secretly love? Here are some examples. I'm a night owl. I do my best work at 2 a.m., usually with music playing and a cup of tea. I have a little dog named Mochi. She's basically my child. I always travel with a notebook, even if I don't write in it. I just like knowing it's there. These details are tiny, but they tell a story, and they make people feel like they know you. And when you start combining all of these small, meaningful pieces, that's when your English really comes to life. Put it all together. Let's build a complete version using everything we've learned. Hi, I'm Diego. I'm originally from Lima, Peru, but I've been living in Madrid since 2019. I work in architecture, mostly residential projects. I live with my girlfriend and our dog Taco, who barks at everything. My family is still in Lima. I call my mom every weekend. In my free time, I like sketching buildings and wandering around the city just to look at old doors. Weird, I know, but it relaxes me. Now that's a real introduction. It's personal, it's visual, it's funny, and most importantly, it sounds like a person, not a textbook. So what's the secret to making your English sound this real and memorable? It's all in the little things. Tip: small details equals big impact. Here's a secret. People rarely remember your job title, but they do remember your cat's name, or the way you describe Sunday mornings, or the fact that you collect old postcards. Fluency is not about using big words. It's about giving people small windows into your world. So don't be afraid to share. Just a little. Just enough. Now let's turn those ideas into real spoken English, one line at a time. Shadowing practice. Repeat after me. All right, time to practice. Say it with me. Out loud. Don't whisper. Don't overthink it. Just speak. I live with my husband and our 2 daughters. My parents live in Mexico. We talk almost every day. I'm the youngest in my family, and yes, I act like it sometimes. In my free time, I'm usually baking or fixing something around the house. You can rewind and say it again. Or even better, change the sentences to match your life. And that's part 4, done. Now you know how to go beyond the basics and add heart to your introduction. A little about your family, a little about your life, and just enough detail to make someone smile and say, "Wow, I like this person." In the final part of this video, we're going to polish everything. I'll show you how to add a unique twist or personal hook to your introduction, something that helps you stand out and stay in people's minds. It's all coming together beautifully. But before we move on, tell me one thing about you. Do you have siblings? A pet? A small habit that makes you, you? Share it in the comments. Make it part of your English story. I'll see you in part 5. We're almost there. Part 5. Polishing your story. Hey there, and welcome to part 5, the final step before we put it all into practice. You've come so far. We started with a simple greeting, and now you're able to talk about where you're from, where you live, what you do, your studies, your hobbies, even a bit about your family and your personality. That's a full introduction, a real one, not memorized, not robotic. But there's one more layer we can add. And this is what makes a good introduction unforgettable. Today we're going to talk about how to stand out, how to include a unique detail, a personal twist, or a conversation hook that makes people smile, laugh, or lean in a little closer. Ready? Let's do it. Why add a hook? Think about it. How many times have you heard someone say, "Hi, I'm Sarah. I'm from London. I'm a nurse." It's fine. But after 5 of those in a row, you stop listening. Now, imagine this. "Hi, I'm Sarah. I'm a nurse from London, and I make the best banana pancakes in the world. At least, according to my 3-year-old. You're smiling already, right? That one little extra detail, the pancakes, tells you she's warm, funny, and a mom. It invites a response, and it makes her memorable. That's your goal. What makes a good hook? A hook can be something you're obsessed with, something people often ask you about, a funny fact, an interesting habit, or even a contradiction. Let me give you some real examples. I'm a civil engineer, but I also teach salsa dancing on weekends. I live in Oslo now, but I used to work on a cruise ship. I'm terrible at small talk, but somehow I always make friends at the dog park. I design websites, but my guilty pleasure is watching cooking fails on YouTube. Hooks don't need to be dramatic. They just need to feel real, like something you'd actually tell a friend. So how do you take one of those simple facts and turn it into something memorable? Let's build it together. Let's build it into your intro. Here's a basic intro. I'm Marco. I'm from Naples. I work in software development. Okay? Now let's add some color. Hey, I'm Marco. I'm from Naples, but I've been living in Prague for about 3 years now. I work in software development, mostly back-end stuff, which means lots of coffee and not much sunlight. Oh, and I make a mean lasagna, but I won't cook it unless you do the dishes. Now that's someone you remember. We used 5W1H. We added a natural joke, and we gave people something to ask about. That's the magic of a hook. Now let's take it one step further and shape your introduction into something that really shines. Polishing your story. Think of your self-introduction like a mini movie trailer. You're giving the highlights. Your name, your background, what you do. But you're also giving a glimpse of what makes you different. Not perfect, just you. Want some ideas to help you brainstorm your own hook? Here are a few gentle prompts. And I promise, no grammar rules involved. Most people don't know this about me, but my friends always say I'm the person who, if I had a free weekend, I'm a little obsessed with. People always ask me about. Try finishing one of those sentences in your mind right now. You might be surprised at how easy it is to add a touch of uniqueness. Let me share a full version, personal, polished, and just a little playful. Hi, I'm Rena. I'm originally from Manila, but I've been living in Toronto since 2018. I work in customer support for a tech company. I love helping people, even if I'm just solving tiny email problems. I live with my cousin and our cat, Luna, who only listens when she feels like it. In my free time, I paint. not professionally or anything, just whatever shows up in my head. And yes, I have way too many unfinished canvases stacked behind the couch. That's not a perfect sentence, but it's a perfect moment. That's what you're aiming for. Connection, clarity, confidence. A lot of learners worry about sounding impressive, but honestly, the most impressive thing is just being honest, relaxed, and specific. Don't try to sound like someone else. Sound like you in English. And now let's bring it all together. Your voice, your story, your style. One final time. Part 6, Shadowing Practice. I'll say each short dialogue one line at a time. You just listen, pause, and repeat out loud. Use your voice. Use your body. Make it feel real. Let's get started. Scene 1. At a language exchange event. Hey, I'm Yasmin. I'm from Cairo, but I live here in Berlin now. I work in product design. Just moved here last spring. Honestly, I came to this event because I really need to practice my German. How about you? What brings you here? Scene 2. First day in a new class. Hi, I'm Diego. I'm originally from Mexico City. I just joined the Business English course, hoping to get more confident for work calls. Outside of class, I'm a coffee addict and amateur photographer. If anyone wants a walking tour of the best cafes downtown, I'm your guy. Scene 3. Casual chat in a cafe. So yeah, I'm from Tokyo, but I moved to Vancouver last year. It was a big change, but I love the slower pace here. I'm working remotely in software, which means I basically live in hoodies now. Oh, and I make really good miso soup. No pressure, but it's kind of my thing. Scene 4. Meeting a new neighbor. Hey, I'm Sam. I just moved into 302 last weekend. I've been living in London for a few years, but I'm originally from Johannesburg. I'm in publishing, mostly editing children's books, actually. Let me know if you ever want to swap recipes. I make a mean chicken curry. Scene 5. Friendly conversation on a train. Hi there. Sorry, is this seat taken? Thanks. I'm Claire, by the way. Traveling from Lyon to Paris for work. I run a small online jewelry shop. It started as a hobby during the pandemic. Now I ship to 5 countries and still do all the packing myself. Beautiful. If you repeated all of those scenes out loud, you've just trained your mouth, your memory, and your rhythm to speak more naturally. You didn't memorize. You felt it. That's what shadowing does. It brings your English from your head into your real life. My challenge for you now: pick your favorite scene, rewrite it, but make it about you, your story, your job, your hobbies, your own rhythm. Write it in the comments. Say it out loud. Own your story in English. I'm so proud of what you've built here. And remember, this isn't the end of a lesson. It's the start of your fluency journey. See you in the next video.